Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it's Saturday, and you know what that means? It's weekly purchases, the time of the week where we take a look at what came through the door via DHL, FedEx, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, that old outlaw, Waylon Jennings, and of course what I found in the stores. And then this week especially, we discuss a lot of news that you and I both are probably interested in. And we're going to start it off like we do every weekly purchase with a little recap of the week on the channel. Of course, on Friday, dropped my figure hunting video, on the hunt for a lot of new things. Things starting to trickle out there. You guys know Target's in the next week, 2 weeks, resetting the toy aisle. Should be a lot of new figures on the shelves. So be prepared for that. Get your wallets ready. And boy, our wallets are all bleeding after this week. We'll get into that a little bit more here in weekly purchases. Also this week, we did our daily Star Wars videos, of course, the sleeper videos of the channel, if you ask me. We also did our Jack's Classic Superstars video of the week, 1 of 100s, part 2. So we got all the 1 of 100 videos done. Hopefully you're enjoying that series. Next week, I believe we're going to do the 1 of 25. So be prepared for that in the Jack's Classic Superstars video. We also unboxed the He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelations series figure. I guess it's just Masters of the Universe Revelations figures. We unboxed those on the channel. I gave my rankings with the Skeletor unboxing. Definitely check out those videos. Very interesting toy lines. Very interesting. It'll be interesting to see where those go. We'll talk a little Masterverse here later in this video as well. We unboxed all of AEW Series 6 to mixed results. I guess it depends how you feel about those, but check those videos out. And actually, we're still going on those. We still got to unbox Jake Hager, and we'll have the final set with all the rankings. So those will be up in the next day or two. And then we unboxed Loot Crate. I usually don't do stuff like this, but our buddies at Loot Crate sent me a kit of the Guardians of the Galaxy figures. So check that video out. An interesting desktop statue. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be at my office at work with those. So as usual, a lot of videos on the channel. And then we also did 2 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive videos this week. There's so much news this week. Weekly purchases would have been 3 hours long. So I said, let's do some bonus videos, and that's exactly what we did. Monday, we had the big Turtles announcements from NECA. We had the announcement for the ring on the Mattel Creations site. We'll get into that a little bit more. And then I talked about a few other things, AEW Unmatched Series 1, which I should have this week, so unboxing those on the channel soon. And then we talked about Pudgy Pig from the Hasbro Lightning Collection Power Rangers. So check out that video earlier in the week. And then yesterday, on Friday, that was the big Mattel panel with San Diego Comic-Con. It was all over the place. So many things announced. So many pictures shown. It was almost an hour-long video. So if you like weekly purchases, you'll probably like that video. Showing the pictures, talking about them, giving my thoughts and opinions, what I like, what I don't like from all that. We definitely got some surprises there. A lot of figures we knew that were coming, some unfortunate leaks over the last week or so, but there was still some surprises. I love the idea of Build-A-Figures in the pay-per-view sets. I think they should be in all sets, so we got some good Build-A-Figure stuff to look forward to. He-Man and WWE Masters of the WWE Universe. Easy for me to say. They're stopping that production line. That's really unfortunate, as I'm a person that likes my He-Man figures and my wrestling figures. But I could see that coming a little bit right when I saw 3 up there, and they were all repaints for the most part. I said, uh-oh, this ain't good. But then they immediately pivoted to the new Superstars line. The verdict's still out on these. It'll be interesting how these go, because I really think the WWE Masters of the Universe figures were more collected by He-Man fans than actual wrestling fans. So without the He-Man fans really being involved, there'll still be some. There's always crossover. It'll be interesting how this goes. And they do look like they're continuing the same body types, but look a little bit more Remco-ish. And I don't know if that's just them taking He-Man away from it. That very well could be it. I'm not exactly sure, but it'll be interesting where those go. And I don't know if they really gave us a date when those Superstar figures are going to be released. I think back half of the year, obviously, or maybe early 2022. Walmart exclusive, as you guys probably heard. But a ton of reveals yesterday. Like I said, check out that video. You don't want to miss that. And then this week, you saw a little bit of it in my figure hunt video, but I had to film weekly purchases early last week because I went to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame up in Waterloo, Iowa. If you've never been, it's worth going. Every July of every year, they have the induction ceremony, they have banquets, they have a wrestling show. I showed some clips in the figure hunting video. I finally got to meet one of my all-time favorites. One of the guys on my Mount Rushmore of wrestling, definitely on the Mount Rushmore of mixed martial arts fighting for me, Ken Shamrock. Ken and I became fast friends It was just the meeting that was been too many years in the making. I was so ecstatic to meet Ken Shamrock. I love Ken Shamrock. What can I say? And, we talked a lot about different things with him, but really the times, him and Tito, so many parties I was at with all my friends, and I'm the only Ken Shamrock fan out of the bunch. And everybody's, oh, Tito's going to kill him. And don't get me started on Tito Ortiz. Don't get me started on Tito. I'm a Ken Shamrock guy. But yeah, it was awesome to finally meet Ken Shamrock. You can actually picture the point in these pictures where Ken and I became best friends. You can see it in that third picture on the bottom left. We were just, oh my gosh, this is the meeting. Let's hug. And that's what we did. We just had a long embrace. A couple tears were shed. And best friends forever. Me and Ken Shamrock, newly inducted into the Hall of Fame up there. So very, very well deserved, if you ask me. Ken doing his best Robert De Niro impression with those glasses as well, but Ken's still got some more gas in the tank, he says. He's ready to go. He's ready to get back after it, so we'll see how that goes for him. But then, of course, Sergeant Slaughter, it was time. It was 2 years in the making. I was going to get Slaughter in a corner, and I was going to say, Sarge, all right, let's get down to the brass tacks here. What's a Nemesis Enforcer? Now it's time for you to tell me. What is? Did you do your research? Do you know Nemesis Enforcer? Unfortunately, the Sarge did not show up to the wrestling show. So I didn't get to see Sarge. I didn't get to put him in his place. We didn't get to talk Nemesis Enforcer. So then I had to do the second best thing I could have asked. Ken Shamrock, what's a Nemesis Enforcer? And he looked me dead in the eye and pointed at me right in my face and said, I'm the Nemesis Enforcer. And I said, touche. Duly noted. So, no answers from Slaughter, but got him from Ken. But it truly is the year of Sergeant Slaughter, as we all know. We got the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive this week to mixed results. Some people, it was the biggest split decision I've ever seen out there, because some people were like, Mattel Creations, bravo, easiest website ever, no problems. Well, those are the people that got them, of course. Then you got other people, it sold out in 3 minutes, I was in line, I didn't get it. It's the yin and the yang, and strangely enough, we all know Slim Jim, Macho Man, and the Mr. T had like a second run, like maybe a month later, 2 months later, whatever it was. There was a second run on those. They're not doing that for Slaughter. That's the announcement from Mattel, so it's one and done and goodbye. Very strange there. I was lucky enough. I was in there working the magic. I put 2 Scare Glows in my cart. I put 2 Sergeant Slaughters in my cart, and I checked out in a breeze. I was just very fortunate. I thought, oh, everybody's going to have it this easy. Then you see Twitter, you see Instagram, you see everything else, and you see everybody flipping out. And I was like, wow, I don't know how I got so lucky. But we'll see. It's not in my hands yet, so who knows what might happen. But I got very lucky. But then I know other people didn't. My dad called me, and he said, hey, he got skunked. He did not get them. He tried to get Scare Glow, and he tried to get a Sergeant Slaughter. No luck there. So I don't know what happened there. There's tons of demand. I don't know if Mattel took into factor the G.I. Joe fan base. That's the thing. When we first announced this, we did a video talking about it. I made it a point, because that was where my head went. You're going to have a ton of G.I. Joe collectors jumping in on this one. It's not just going to be wrestling. So you got dual fan bases going there. Then you got your people that are, flippers, scalpers and stuff jumping in there. It just seemed like a recipe for disaster. And a figure like this should have had more quantity than a Slim Jim Macho Man or a Mr. T. But you could say the same thing. There's Slim Jim fans out there getting after that Macho Man. Probably not. Mr. T, maybe a little bit, but yeah, Sergeant Slaughter, he went fast. We'll see what happens. But it truly is the year of Sergeant Slaughter. As we saw in the Mattel reveal yesterday, we're getting the Iraqi Sergeant Slaughter later this year. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. We're also getting Sergeant Slaughter in the Masters of WWE Universe from the Walmart exclusive line. And then the Valaverse Sergeant Slaughter figures. Unfortunately, I did get an email this week. That is delayed until November, I believe it said. So, boy, that's a long wait for that one. So it was a double whammy to my dad that day. He missed out on the Mattel Sergeant Slaughter, then got the email on his Sergeant Slaughter from Big Bad Toy Store, link in the description below, that Valaverse is delaying that figure. So, crazy there, but Valaverse did announce another Sergeant Slaughter figure coming. So it's all coming up Sergeant Slaughter right now. It's just amazing how many figures that guy is getting. He's got to have the record for most figures in a year almost. And I'm sure Rey Mysterio or somebody like that's beat that, but you know what I mean. So a lot of Sergeant Slaughters coming, and that was really fun to go to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. I did go with my dad and my daughter, so that was a good time. And of course, along the way, we did a little figure hunting, and I did find some things, and we'll talk about that later in the video. This week too, gosh, there's so much stuff I got to do. Time is always my enemy. I don't have time for anything. I wish I did. You guys know the majority of my videos, I film them on Sunday. I wake up before most people are even thinking about waking up for the day. I get up, I get after it, I knock out all my Star Wars reviews, all my reviews on Sunday, and then just work on them, upload them for the week, and there I go. Weekly purchases, usually film on Friday. But yeah, that's how I usually do things, because guess what? I work like 70 hours during the week, plus some. Plus got a wife, kids, family, all that kind of stuff. Long story short, I would really like to see the Snake Eyes movie. I'd really like to see the Black Widow movie. I just gotta find time to see those movies. But what I did make time for, and I'm actually filming weekly purchases very early Saturday morning of the day of the drop, which is about a day ahead, because guess what? I said, you know what? I filmed that Mattel video, I got dinner, I was tired, had a long work day. I'm gonna watch Masters of the Universe Revelation. I gotta watch it. I gotta get it before spoilers come out there. So I binged the whole thing. I watched all 5 episodes, I don't know, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2.5 hours, whatever it was. And I'm not gonna give any spoilers to anybody, because I know a lot of people are gonna be watching it over the next week or so. I know there was a lot of thunder. I saw in the comments, people are totally against it. Some people giving it a chance, and I always say, I'm going to give everything a chance. I want to make my own decision on things. I don't want to be influenced by others a whole lot. I'll take, some trusted individuals' word on things, but I like to see it for myself. I want to know, and I got to be honest, I liked it. I'm an old school He-Man fan. I'm back from when it started. That was my first toy line I collected. Is there some things I would change? Of course there is. Is there some things that could have been better? Of course there is. But for what it is, for right now, I think it's better than not being released at all. I don't know if that's the question you got to ask yourself. Would you rather just not have a new He-Man show? I mean, then, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But the animation was awesome. I really like some of the character arcs out there. There's been a lot of rumors about what happened. Some of it true, some of it not true. But I thought it was pretty good. But I'll tell you what, I tried to get my 2 daughters to watch. Old Emma, she's 6 years old. She bailed before the credits even started rolling. And then my other daughter, Elle, she stayed for about 2 episodes. And she was more into Roblox on her iPad, so she had to go as well. So they weren't following along. I guess it wasn't as easy to pick up for little kids as maybe the old one would be. But then you got the old one with the old animation some kids wouldn't want to take a chance on or even look at. So very interesting dynamics with this series, but I gotta tell you, I enjoyed it. It was a good 2 hours spent. I don't feel like I wasted my time. I might even rewatch it right before the next 5 episodes drop. It really is the kind of conclusion of the series, and there's been a lot of stuff said. A lot of, people are saying, oh, these agendas and everything else. There's a couple of little spots, but it made sense to me. I thought it made sense. I thought it was a really good arc, and there was some, like anything, you had some issues with some stuff, but there's some stuff I really liked as well. Some of the characters I absolutely hated in the original kind of came full circle, and I said, hey, good for that guy, stuff like that. Maybe we'll talk about it more in depth one day. I don't know if it'll do anything for these figures. We'll see what happens. You guys, like I said, I did the reviews this week on the channel of the figures. To mixed bag. I hope Series 2 gets a little bit better, and we'll talk a little bit more about them in the news. So let's do it. Let's jump into the news. All right, let's get into the news. And if you didn't think those 2 big news videos were enough, boy, we got some more. This has got to be the biggest news week of the year, and it definitely trumps last year. I'm sure COVID had something to do with some of that. But we got more news, and we're going to start it with wrestling figures. Ringside Collectibles announced this week 3 more Jushin Thunder Ligers. How many Jushin Thunder Ligers do you need? Well, how many are you going to make? That could be the answer out there for you. But honestly, I didn't even pre-order the last one that ships, I think, September, October. It's the debut attire Jushin Thunder Liger. I have not pulled the trigger on that. I just wish it would go a little bit cheaper. Maybe Ringside would put it in a sale or something like that, and maybe I'll pull the trigger. These 3 ones look awesome. I love the Power Ranger, green Power Ranger inspired one as well. Look awesome, but man, it's expensive. You're looking at like $200 for Jushin Liger figures, just those 3. Throw that other one I haven't ordered yet. I mean, that's an expensive day at the game, that's for sure. I don't know. I'm sure I'll probably get them. I think these Jushin Liger figures are pretty cool. You guys know I love masked wrestlers. I love wrestlers that are totally masked up. Their whole body's covered except their hands. Sign me up all day long. But man, those are expensive. But the quality, I absolutely love the quality. I love the Storm figures. We've seen them with Mortal Kombat. We've seen them with Street Fighter figures. The Hulk Hogan's, of course, and the Jushin Ligers. But I will probably pick them up. But those are on Ringside Collectibles right now. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. AEW, we saw another picture of that Jericho that's an Amazon exclusive. No answer as to when that's going up for pre-sale on Amazon, but I guess you would have to think somewhat soon. But it basically a 2-in-1 Jericho. But we saw more pictures of that. We saw a little bit better quality pictures of the SCU 2-pack, Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian, basically repaints. So if you're into repaints, you'll have to get those. I'll probably pick these up. I don't know if that one's going to be an Amazon exclusive as well. I wouldn't be shocked, but we'll see. Then Zombie Sailor, we talk about Zombie Sailor and his new retro line coming out all the time. Well, Jeff Jarrett, this upcoming Wednesday, going up for pre-order. There's no limits here. The pre-order window is the window, like Super 7, everything else. If you want a Jeff Jarrett, make sure you order and get him in. It's really cool. They're going back to the old school Hasbro design that never got released, so I think that is pretty awesome. I have to think we're going to get another Jeff Jarrett in this line of more updated, maybe a Slapnuts version of Jeff Jarrett. We'll get something a little different, but they're going all the way back. So for you Hasbro collectors out there, this will be a cool piece to add to your collection. I'll definitely be picking that up. But Zombie Sailor, he was not done this week. He was sailing the 7 seas, and he picked up RVD. RVD is going to be in Hills and Faces. Going to go great with the upcoming Sabu Series 1 figure. So you got to have those two. You guys know I'm an ECW guy. I'm an RVD guy. I love RVD. So we're getting an elite of him. We're going to get a Zombie Sailor figure. Things are coming up RVD, like a young Sergeant Slaughter out there. But I'll be picking up RVD from Zombie Sailor. And then Zombie Sailor with the cool announcement this week, old Jack Tunney. Boy, if I could have had a Jack Tunney figure when I was a kid, that would have been something. But we get it now. We're getting a retro Jack Tunney figure. It'll be interesting how well that sells, but we'll see how it goes. A lot of us of my age remember Jack Tunney, but if you were born in the mid-90s and so forth, he probably doesn't mean as much to you, but he was right up there with the President of the United States for me when I was a little kid. There was the President of the United States, and then there was Jack Tunney, just a hair bigger. You know, they would ask us to list the presidents in school, and I'd always throw Jack Tunney in because he was that important of a character back in the day, at least to me. Even though I always thought, man, what is this guy? I don't understand it, but President Jack Tunney getting himself a retro figure, I think it's long overdue if you ask me, so I'm all in for that one. Then Junk Shop Dog. I can't wait for the LOD Road Warrior Junk Shop Dog figures. I can't wait for Terry Funk. And I can't wait. He's got a Tiger Mask figure. Tiger Mask, very important to the wrestling style. Talk about a forerunner to a style of wrestling that has been adapted by many ever since. He is getting a Junk Shop Dog figure, so very cool for you Tiger Mask fans out there. You know what they say, everybody loves a good face paint or masked wrestler. So Junk Shop Dog, find him on Instagram, of course. And then Squared Circle Ringside Chaos figures. This kind of came out of left field on Friday, but it does fit a hole in certain collectors' collections. They have renderings up. I don't know what I think. You'd have to see these in hand. I almost wonder if it's going to be kind of an FTC thing where they look okay maybe in these pictures, then you get them in hand and maybe they don't look so hot. We'll see, but they're doing something different. They're making referees. They're making a classic look referee. They're making the zebra stripe referee. We're getting a security member. We're getting event staff. There's a lot of people that have those in their crowd, figure photographers, where they get soft goods and put it over normal wrestlers. And that's what you got to do at this point. But it does look funny when all of a sudden, oh, there's AJ Styles in the crowd with an event shirt on. It always takes your eyes away from the photography, if you ask me out there. But this will change that. They're going to have all different skin tones, skin colors, different heads, so you can have a bunch of different event security guys out there. No price point, none of that stuff yet that I've seen. I don't think these are probably for me, but we'll see. It would be great if you could make a whole event staff and you could get a bundle together and they're relatively cheap. But something tells me they're going to be expensive. I wouldn't be shocked if each one of these are more than an elite, you know, $15 to $20, $22, whatever, depending on your area. I just don't see these being cheap. It's going to be a small company making these. They don't have quite the buying power, factory power of a Mattel or a Hasbro out there. But a cool idea and something I think that is really needed out there. So that's me. So take that for what you will and check those out when they do. And we'll talk about it more when they go up for pre-order and stuff like that, I am sure. Some follow-ups on the Mattel reveals yesterday. Like I said, I can't stress. Check out that video yesterday. Talk about a peek into the future of the next 8 months or so, basically, with Mattel. I'm hoping they save some surprises to surprise us during those 8 months, but we pretty much know the roadmap for the most part of what's coming in the future. But we did see, it must have been Bill and Steve probably did an Instagram story or something later in the night last night. They showed off a few things. And one thing they showed off, they showed the Goon, really Randy Orton with a wig on, if you saw my video. That's really what he looks like. Look at that face. To me, that looks like Randy Orton. So I'm sure they used some of that, but maybe it'll be a little different. But then they showed the Goon, though, with his hockey jersey on. That was one thing they didn't have in the renders. So it does look good. It definitely looks better with the hockey jersey on. clown, but of course it would. That's how he looked. And then we saw in-package images, so that means these are coming very soon. Probably in the next 2-3 weeks, I would have to think. We'll start shipping from Ringside Collectibles. Discount code Kyle, save 10%, of course. We saw the picture of the ECW Cactus Jack, and you guys know I'm all in. ECW, Cactus Jack, two things I absolutely love. Putting them together, sign me up all day. I can't wait till I get that. Hopefully I get that very soon. Can't wait to dig in. I almost want to get a second one because that packaging looks pretty stellar on there, I thought. Very, very cool looking images there. So that's some recap wrestling news there. A lot going on this week, as I've said multiple times. But we should talk a little bit about the new generation ring, the MattelCreations.com Kickstarter. As I'm filming this video, I think there's like 741 people that have backed the ring. They need 5,000 just to get this thing back, to get the Diesel figure, get the ring, the light up stage, that kind of stuff. If we can get to 7,000, we'll get a Doink the Clown Ultimate. Or no, if you get 6,000, you get the Doink Ultimate. If you get to 8,000, you get the ring skirts. I don't know. 8,000 seems like a stretch at this point. We'll see if it happens or not. We got a long ways to go. In a short time to get there is what Jerry Reed told me when I was a little boy. But we got the ring skirts don't really do a ton for me, but Doink the Clown looks very good. I was a little skeptical on a Doink Ultimate, but there is so much difference from the elites we've had in the past. The extra heads are awesome. I'm all in on this Doink Ultimate. But a lot of people online, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this thing hasn't even got over 1,000 yet. It's been 24 hours. What's going on? We're going to fail. This isn't going to work. Well, Mattel Creations should have announced this and maybe waited a month, then made it go live. Get the hype up for a month, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I'm sure every business plan could be looked at from different angles, but very tough to drop that this week when you already, last week, Hasbro beat you to the punch with Galactus. We'll talk about that in a second. So that was a big one. And there's a lot of crossover. There's people like me that buy Marvel. We buy WWE. There's a lot of those people. And then there's some people that, hey, I just don't like rings. And I totally get that because these real scale rings, I got a Raw, I got a SmackDown, I got an NXT, I have an AEW one, I got another AEW one on the way. Where do you put all these rings? I'm not a ring guy, so this didn't really interest me. I definitely want the Kevin Nash, or Diesel. I definitely want the Doink the Clown, but the ring stuff doesn't do a lot for me. But guess what? I will back this, of course. I have to, and we all should. And I say it all the time, if you back it, you can always get your money back down the line. These things always go up in value. There's always people that are new to collecting that miss out. So if you are on the fence, do it as an investment opportunity. It'll help it get backed. It'll help us get future opportunities down the line, hopefully some big stuff. But I do worry about this one a little bit. But like I said, so many things were pre-ordered on San Diego Comic-Con week. And you know what? I'm going to run through my list here in a little bit of everything I pre-ordered this week. There's so much stuff, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in that same ball game. They have a month to pre-order this thing. A month to order this thing, same as Galactus. So I can see people waiting until their next paycheck or their paycheck after that, or wait till the last minute. I totally understand that. And personally, I haven't backed the ring yet, so you can count on one more for sure being in there eventually. But I don't like people sitting on my money, and they're going to sit on it for a year. So I like to wait on these things. I wait till the last minute. But I understand people saying, Kyle, don't wait till the last minute because we might not get the tiers. It might not happen. Maybe, when people start rolling, it kind of snowballs and you get the snowball effect. But yeah, I get it too. But I also don't like people sitting on my money for a year, like I've said multiple times about Galactus and about some of these other ones. But like I said, I will be backing this, so be prepared for that. Mattel, mark it down. You got one more guaranteed popping in there. But it'll be interesting. I thought this would have been over 1,000 after day one because first day is usually your biggest spike. That's the excitement level of the announcement. That's usually your biggest one day. That didn't really happen. So I don't know. But I do think there's a lot to be said about people being tapped out financially after this last couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes, progresses in the future. And then speaking of ones, we're talking Galactus from HasLab. I think some of the same stuff there, about 8,800 on Galactus. They got a long ways to go as well. Marvel Legends team already moved up a stream, I think, or they announced a stream for next Wednesday. They're going to announce 2 Heralds. It sounds like we're getting Nova and Silver Surfer. Not everybody's most wanted Heralds, which I think might be unfortunate, but we got to see how that goes on Wednesday. But I think a lot of the same things apply. There's people buying so much stuff. There's so much stuff coming out. A tough time to release these things. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's got a long way to go as well. And I should say about the new Generation Ring and Galactus, you always see the Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, mom and pop companies. Guess what? They are a business. They wait to the last minute to back a lot of these things as well. Big Bad Toy Store, they backed the Thunder Tank. They backed, what was the Transformers one? I'm drawing a blank. I was going to say Ego, but that's Marvel Legends. Unicron, geez, there it is. They backed Unicron. They backed the Sentinel. They'll back Galactus. They'll get some for their stock in their store. So you're going to have a big order from them and those guys, and those will pop in at the end. And I got to think if it's really close, Hasbro, Mattel, whoever's going to save face, they're just going to bump those numbers up and say, hey, we're good, we got it. But a very interesting thing, and this will not be released to the normal public. These are too big of items. If Toys R Us is still around, we might have got them as exclusives. But without Toys R Us, the cost of the retail shelving space for these will be astronomical. They would never turn a profit. This is your only way to get this Ring or Galactus that's going to be. I do wonder if this doesn't get backed by Mattel. I mean, you can see they've already done a lot of work on Doink. They've done a lot of work on Diesel. I can't see them 100% scrapping those figures and just saying, oh, we're done. We did all this work to make these figures, and we're going to scrap them. I mean, they haven't done the whole production line, all that kind of stuff, but they made everything else. I wouldn't be shocked. Let's say the Ring does not get backed. I would not be shocked if maybe 2 years down the line we get those. We get Doink, we get Kevin Nash, or Diesel. I keep wanting to call him Kevin Nash. We would get those in a regular line. I think that's what would happen. The Ring, I think this is your only chance at the Ring. If you don't want this Ring in stage, this is your one and done chance. I just don't see it happening. But Kevin Nash, Doink, yeah, it'll go. But the other thing you got to remember on these things that are backed, these are the hardcore of the hardcore fans these are for. This isn't for little Jimmy and little Johnny out there. And guess what? Little Jimmy and little Johnny, they probably don't even know these things exist. And how would they even get them funded? How does a 9-year-old kid say, hey, Dad, fund me this Galactus for $400? That really doesn't happen. You just kind of pat your kid on the top of the head and, yeah, right, that's never going to happen. But these are for the more adult collectors, the more hardcore fan base. And we all got to take that step back sometime because we're so involved and we're so into all this world. But most people aren't. And the majority of collectors aren't. They just pick up some things. There's a lot of people that don't even go on the internet for their collector stuff. They collect, but they don't take the time to search and read the news and watch videos like this or other people's videos. So we're all in a little bit of bubble, and sometimes we got to pop out of that bubble and see how the real world's doing sometimes. But it's an interesting concept. I hope it succeeds. All the more, the merrier is what I say. I want cool things in the future. This Ring doesn't do a lot for me, like I said. That's not my wheelhouse, new generation. I like the 2 Ultimates, but I will back it. It will hopefully go through, and I'm hoping we get things down the line. Hopefully we get some other really cool stuff in the future. And that same thing goes for Galactus. So more to come, and if you're on the fence, back it, because you can always make your money back later. That's my 2 cents at least there. What else we got? All right, how about we do the pre-orders real quick? Let's run down the San Diego Comic-Con. Here's what I pre-ordered. In the comments, you tell me your pre-orders for the week. I got it all written down here because I would never, ever remember. All right, this is what I pre-ordered this week. The NECA News Team, NECA Online. Got to give a shout out to that old outlaw Waylon Jennings. Helped me with that link right at the last minute because I was picking my daughter up from school and I could not get on my iPhone. I always forgot that NECA store never works well on my iPhone. And he sent me that direct link and I got in there right under the gun there, and I ended up getting the NECA News Team. So that's an expensive one. That's $200 for that one. But I got it. Scareglow, Sergeant Slaughter, I got 2 of each of those. Had to have 2 of those. I mean, that's what. I need a Chase, I need a blue one, and I need a loose one on Slaughter. So I'm going to have to track down another Slaughter as well. Survivor Series Elite set, Elite 89, went up for sale on Ringside Collectibles yesterday. That's the Hulk Hogan Bret Hart set for the Survivor Series. Discount code Kyle saves 10%. I had to get both those pre-orders in. I also finally ordered the Barbed Wire play set. Doesn't really excite me a lot, but I said, you know what, I wouldn't mind having it. I'll pick it up, and I put it in with my Survivor Series order, I think it was. So I'll get that eventually. Tommaso Ciampa, Ringside Collectibles exclusive. I think this will be an interesting one. It'll be really interesting how well this one sells. Sounds like it's coming out in December, but I did pre-order that. Walmart this week, Compound Hulk. I pre-ordered that one. Grunt and the Cobra Officer. Walmart.com, they had their big collector's con this week, the 3 3/4 version, Grunt, Cobra Officer, pre-order both those. Pre-order the new Hiss Tank in blue. Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of a money grab there. 6-inch Arc Trooper Black Series, I pre-ordered that. NECA came up on Walmart.com, no pictures, anything, but it was April O'Neil and Casey Jones 2-pack. What could that be? I am not really sure. Nobody really knows. We know we're getting single-carded releases of both of those. Are they making good and putting a 2-pack in there? I don't know what that's about, but we'll see what happens. And if it's something junky, hey, we can return it or cancel the order. And then, of course, Saturday morning, Masters of the WWE Universe Series 7, the Sergeant Slaughter, Bret Hart, Andre the Giant Junkyard Dog set. Had to order 2 of those. Hopefully I get one mint on card set unpunched. Hopefully I get an opener set. Fingers crossed there. And then the WWE Hollywood figures. Got the Rock, the Cena, and the Piper. Excited for that Piper, as you guys know. I'm really excited for Series 2 with that Andre the Giant as Bigfoot. Sign me up all day on that one. So that's a lot of pre-orders. So if there's people like me, do you really want to fund Galactus and the Ring this week? Probably not. You spent enough money this week. My plan is maybe, I don't know, sometime before both of them close, I will pull the trigger on both those. I will definitely be getting Galactus. I'll definitely be getting the Ring. I would feel awful picking those up this week with everything I pre-ordered. It's just, it makes me ill how much I pre-ordered. And then you go back to last week, that He-Man video. If you missed that weekly purchases, my biggest purchase of all time in last Saturday's weekly purchase video. So old Kyle's tapped out for a while. I gotta take a break. Gotta take a break. And then we're gonna show a bunch of stuff I picked up this week. So that's the way it goes. What do you do? We talked about Compound Hulk. That also went up for pre-order at Walmart this week. I was gonna pass on that, and gosh, I'm the worst. I used to play the long game so good. I need to get back to the long game. And Compound Hulk is one of those long gamers, I think. It's a Walmart exclusive. It's the green and red Hulk mashed together. I know nothing about this character. I talk about getting the most out of your molds. I mean, that's what Hasbro is doing with this Hulk mold. We've had so many figures. We're going to talk about one today in weekly purchases. But I ordered Compound Hulk from that. We also saw this week, we saw Masterverse Teela figure for the first time. And was it Sarah Michelle Gellar was showing it on her social media. So that was our first peek at Series 2 Teela. I like that look of that Teela, actually. It's interesting how she goes from having just like long hair all down, all of a sudden it's shaved on the sides and like just like that. I don't know what happened there. And that's part of the thing. One of the things I didn't like about the new show, but there's a lot to like as well. So I think a lot of you guys should give it a chance. That's me. Make your own opinion. See if you like it or not. But we will be getting that. And then speaking of Masters Universe, Triclops and the Masters Universe Origins, that won the fan vote, the mini comics version of Triclops. I think that is going to be a Mattel Creations exclusive. If you go to Mattel Creations site, they have a He-Man section there. I think that's where that'll be sold. I think that'll be a Mattel Creations exclusive, so be prepared for that. And then Walmart, I talked about, I ordered in this week the Hiss Tank, the Grunt, and the Cobra Officer 3 3/4 line pack. That's a very cheap one. I don't know how I feel about that. That could be one of those it's so hard to say goodbye series one day. I don't know, not anytime soon, but maybe one day. I don't know if I'm feeling those. They don't give me the same feeling the 25th anniversary figures did, or the classified figures, or even these new Super 7 figures are coming. But we'll see. As of right now, I'm all in. They're a very easy set to collect for the most part. They're not very expensive figures. They only come out in 2s and 3s here and there. So it's an easy set to collect, but I don't know if it tugs at my heartstrings like some of the other lines out there. But more to come on that, I'm sure. Speaking of G.I. Joe Mego, they announced Snake Eyes Storm Shadow 2-pack. I'm not a Mego guy. I don't really buy any of those figures. Actually, I don't think I own any. To be perfectly honest. It skipped. If I was a little bit older, if I was 10 years older, 5 years older, I'd probably be buying every Mego figure under the sun. And my uncle did buy those. He grew up in the 70s. He had those, and when I'd go to my grandma's house, those were still there, and I'd play with the DC Batman and Robin. That's where my love of the Planet of the Apes began, with those Mego figures back in the day. So I've played with them. I respect them enough, but they don't do really anything for me. So I'm passing on the Snake Eyes Storm Shadow. That's an easy pass for me. I'll put that money towards something else. But for you Mego people out there, jump in while you can. That's on Hasbro Pulse.com or HasbroPulse.com right now. Then I talked about Turtles Casey April 2-pack. And there's also a BST Battle Damage Turtles 4-pack. Kind of a repaint. Those BST figures, a little smaller scale. Those don't really do anything for me either. I've seen the, Angus Young and the Slash and Big Trouble Little China figures and stuff like that. And they look neat enough, but they're just not for me. But if they do come out with a Lemmy figure, I would pick that up. But that Turtle one's like $75 for that 4-pack. So I'm definitely not picking that bad boy out. ARC Trooper Black Series Walmart, that came this week as well online in the Walmart Con. They didn't even have a picture for that one, but I ordered it, so we'll see how that goes. We also saw the Vintage Collection. Vintage Collection announced some new figures this week, and it's based off the Clone Wars, kind of the original Clone Wars figures. Pretty cool. Ayala Sakura is coming, Luminari Undali, Barriss Offee, of course, Barriss Offee. And then you're getting the ARC Trooper Captain, you're getting the ARC Trooper, and a Battle Droid. Gotta always throw a Battle Droid in there. I didn't pre-order these. I'm not even sure if they went up for pre-order yet, but long game for me. I'm thinking about calling it goods on the 3 3/4 collection for at least a while. We do Star Wars unboxings. A lot of it are the 3 3/4 era figures. I still got 5 massive boxes of figures, plus 1 full bookcase of figures to unbox in those daily Star Wars unboxings. So I feel like I just need to slow down and not double up and save some of those funds for some of the other lines, or Galactus or that ring, for example. But very cool for the Star Wars fans out there. They did announce those are going to be on a thicker cardstock as well, so that is good news as well. But I might pick up the Barriss Offie maybe if I see her out there. I don't believe I have a figure of her, but I need to double check my collection as I start to work on that Star Wars room, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. As you guys have seen, that other toy room is really coming along, as I've shown some Easter eggs on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram. So make sure you check those out if you haven't. And then finally, the last news item this week, Target announced the carbonized figures. I believe those went up for pre-order on Friday. Black Series 6-inch scale carbonized figures. I love it when things like this come out because I can save all my money. I don't need these carbonized repaints. These do absolutely nothing for me, so I absolutely love it. Nothing I need here. So total pass on that one. Which then turns us to the album of the week. And this week, my daughter and I, we drove to Waterloo, Iowa, like I said, for that Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame with my dad. And my daughter has always been a big fan of this band. And we busted through the greatest hits about 4 times on the way there and the way home, and rekindled her 10-year-old love for the band. And what band are we talking about? We're talking about The Sweet, one of the most underrated bands of all time. Talk about ahead of their time. Just great. I know everybody knows like songs like Little Willie and Fox on the Run and Action. Those are kind of their main hits everybody knows. But man, they got a deep catalog. You got to go through. There's a lot of good stuff throughout The Sweet. And a bit of a forgotten band after all these years. Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy got Fox on the Run kind of back up to the top of the charts. But The Sweet, an amazing band. But at the same time, one of the worst shows I've ever saw. I saw them in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota one time. And there was only one original member, and Steve Priest, and he's died last year, I believe it was. So it was not the best show I've ever seen. Probably the worst show ever. But man, The Sweet, check them out. You can't go wrong with Desolation Boulevard, of course. The greatest hits, start there, and you can go from there. But totally underrated. I'm sure some of the European, UK viewers know The Sweet maybe more than some of the American. They were definitely bigger over there, like a young Slade, maybe. But very cool. I love The Sweet. My daughter loves The Sweet, so she's been rocking out to The Sweet, which is way better than some of the stuff she's listening to with her mom. I'll tell you that much right now. But there you go. That is the album of the week. So let's jump into it. Now we got a ton of weekly purchases to go over. All right, guys, nothing ever slows down around here, especially after last week's He-Man and the Masters Universe Classics buy. I was hoping this week would be slower, but when it comes, and when it happens, and when you pick it up, I guess. And that's exactly what happened this week. So let's jump it off, and we got a surprise entrant into weekly purchase. We've got that old outlaw, not Waylon Jennings, the Foot Soldier. Foot Soldier been the bane of my existence the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I think there's an inside job at one of my local Targets, as I was there right as they filled everything. I mean, it couldn't have been mere minutes, and there's no Foot Soldiers. I think that NECA rep, he's taking those Foot Soldiers. I think that's what happened. But good brother Justin, viewer of the channel, reached out and said, hey, I see you fighting for that Foot Soldier. I just found one. Do you want me to send it to you? And I said, you know what? I will take it. But I gotta tell you, I'm still on the hunt for this. I've never been defeated out of retail. I'm not gonna be defeated by this one. I always at least see something of everything out there. Maybe I don't always buy it, but I see it. And I haven't seen this in person yet, and I will. I know that outlaw Waylon Jennings, he needs another one of these. So if I do come across one, I will grab it for him. But yeah, it's just, it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing with me and the Foot Soldier, but good brother Justin out there, I appreciate the help. Thank you for helping me get that Foot Soldier. At least I can rest easy if I do not find one out in the wild. And speaking of good brothers, old good brother Wingnut, friend of the channel since the very beginning, comments on a lot of the posts, stuff like that. Up in Canada, he reached out and said, hey, I found some stuff. I don't think you have these. Do you need these? He showed them to me, and I said, oh, do I ever. And we've got Marvel's Quasar. Look at that. This will be a Walgreens exclusive in the United States, but has not hit America yet. So very excited to jump into Quasar. We can talk a little Quasar. Kind of the joke of the schoolyard when I was a kid, but we'll talk a little bit Quasar on the channel this week. So Wingnut, I appreciate that. And then he also came with the other Walgreens exclusive, Old Nova. So we got Nova and Quasar, both Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusives this week from the Great White North. I really appreciate the help. And then he also sent me this one, a 4-pack I do not have. and it's from the Solo movie. So he sent me this one, and that Weasel character played by the guy who played Wicket, what is it, Warwick Davis, Leprechaun himself. I love a small figure, I love a big figure, so I'm very excited to see him. And we'll unbox him on the channel in our daily Star Wars videos eventually. So thank you again, my old buddy Justin, and of course, old Wingnut. So thank you, thank you. Then I finally did, you guys saw last week, I got it right here still, actually. It hasn't moved in a week. Last week, we got the Unrivaled Series 6 on weekly purchases, and I pulled the 1 of 3,000 Jake Hager from ringside. So I was really happy to get that, but then I said, guess what? I can't open up Jake Hager. I'm not opening this one. I'm not reviewing this one. So then I made a quick order to ringside, and I got the regular edition Jake Hager. So I'm going to unbox this ASAP, and we'll finish up Unrivaled Series 6. And Unmatched Series 1 is going to be at my doorstep any day. So we're Unrivaled, Unmatched, AEW figures just keeps piling on. We might see a day where every single day we have a wrestling video between wrestling, WWE, and AEW figures. If possible, I don't know. I don't know if my heart can take it. I just don't know if my heart can take it. How about heavy metal magazines? I was happy to get this back in the mail. This went dormant. This publication went dormant for like a year. It's called Iron Fist Magazine. Comes from the UK. But this is my wheelhouse for heavy metal. Merciful Fate on the cover. This is a lot of the new wave of traditional heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal. Classic heavy metal. The Priests, the Maidens, the King Diamonds, the Merciful Fates. My kind of heavy metal. This is a fabulous magazine. You used to be able to buy it at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if it's there anymore. I don't think so. But it's called Iron Fist, but I got my subscription copy in the mail this week, and it's been a long time. I mean, these don't come out very often. There's not a lot of ads in these, but I love stuff like this. I have a huge heavy metal magazine collection. I mean, subscribing to Metal Hammer and everything else over the years is you got to keep your fingers on the pulse of the heavy metal action. But I did get that in the mail just now, and I was very excited to receive that. Can't wait to dive into that. Next week, when I am actually on a little bit of a vacation, I should have mentioned it at the top of the show, but for those that hung around, you get it now. It'll be interesting next week. Weekly purchases might be up Saturday night or Sunday next week. I'm actually leaving the state with the family, taking them to a water park, doing a few other things out there, but of course also going to WWE SmackDown, taking the family to SmackDown next Friday night. So look for your old buddy Kyle on TV. I'll be there at SmackDown with the girls and my wife, of course. So weekly purchases normally fall on Friday. I'll be at SmackDown. But the next day I'll try to get it up, or maybe Sunday. But I think I got a special video. Maybe if we don't do weekly purchases on our normal time Saturday, I might have a special video for that that I think you guys will enjoy on that Saturday. And then you'll get weekly purchases on Sunday. Or I might get it done early. We'll see how things go. We'll see how it shakes out. But there might be a flip in the schedule, but I'll let everybody know via social media. So stay tuned for that. But hopefully I can get some time off. I rarely get time off. I haven't had one full week of vacation in over 10 years, if you can believe that. I don't get vacation. I don't take time off. I guess I'll sleep when I'm dead, as they say. I really need to prioritize my vacation. Instead of giving away a bunch of vacation days for nothing, I don't get paid for them. They just disappear into thin air. I got to start using some of these things, and we're going to take a couple of days off, and I'm going to hopefully be able to sneak away, and no emergencies, nothing like that. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, and yeah, so hopefully I can get some R&R. We'll see. We'll see. More to come. We talked about this a little bit later, getting the most out of that Hulk mold. Well, there it is, old Maestro through the door this week via Big Bad Toy Store. Maestro, there he is. So we'll talk about this one on the channel, a heavy figure, but we're very familiar with this mold by now. We've seen it many a times. We're going to see it more with that Compound Hulk. But Maestro through the week. So we got 3 Marvel Legends this week, so you can't beat that. How about gotta get a deal when you don't even know you want to get a deal? You just get a deal because it's a deal? Say that 5 times fast. Batman, brown, rusty Batman. I don't know anything about this. McFarlane DC, but I saw this for $5.99 at Target, and I said, you know what? What the heck? I'll buy it. Maybe it'll be a future giveaway. Maybe I'll put it in a closet for 5 years, and I'll sell it for $13. Who knows what'll happen, but caught me at a weak moment. I said, $5.99, that's like a cup of coffee, and I don't even drink coffee, so how would I know? But my wife's told me, so I picked that up this week. Also this week, I talked about how I went to that Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Well, I had the Gerald Briscoe figure just hanging around in my collection. I'm not sure why I had a double, but I said, you know what? I'm going to see Jerry there. I might as well get his autograph. So that's what I did. I got the autograph from Jerry Briscoe. He kind of joked about the figure. Obviously, this wasn't the first time he's ever seen this figure. But he said, yeah, it's just weird that I'm wearing that, not wrestling gear. And then I told him, underneath, you got your orange trunks on. And he didn't have a clue. He didn't know that. He said, that's really awesome. He wants to get one to open and display without the Briscoe stuff to represent his old time of his career. So I thought that was kind of interesting. He was not aware of that. And then if you saw that figure hunting video this week, you did see me in the middle of nowhere on my way to Waterloo, one of the smallest Walmarts in the Midwest. And I'm not joking when I say that, but I went in there and lo and behold, what do they have? The SummerSlam series sitting on the pegs. I got my second Sid Justice figure. You know I had to have a 2-in-1 of this one. I already have one that'll be the referee. Take this referee garb off and bam, what do you got? You got WCW Sid. So I'm happy to get a second one of those. And I also came across Triple H, the Chase version as well. So I am totally done with this SummerSlam set. Very happy to get that all done and off the books. All right, then we got, how about a Bone Cruncher? Every once in a while, I always talk about the long game, the longest of long games of these Bone Crunchers. But when I see a deal out there, I'll jump after it, I'll hit it, and that's what I got. I got this ugly Stone Cold Steve Austin figure. He's got his camo gear on. Is what it is. Not the best Stone Cold, but, you know, I'm trying to complete those BCAs. I don't know how many I have. I don't really have a good checklist. I kind of just, when I come across one, I'll look over in my new toy room and say, oh, yeah, I don't have that one. I'll order it. It's kind of how it goes. I mean, no one means a huge rush to complete that series. That's for sure. How about, finally, if you saw the figure hunting video this week, there's old Faker. Got Faker and Fisto. Got Faker and Fisto this week, but I found these two unpunched for my unpunched collection, so I'm very happy to have these two done. There they are right there. But then I got my openers. Whoa, as I'm dropping them. I got my opener, my Fisto and Faker opener as well. So I'll unbox these two together on the channel one of these days, maybe in the next week or two. But continuing to be a completist on both sides of the Origin figures. It'll be interesting where the Origins line goes. Does it go the way of the Masters of the WWE Universe? Are they gonna be all in on the new Revelations series and then maybe get rid of the Origins, and then they have that new little kids line coming? I could see them swapping some of that stuff out. How much He-Man can you have on the pegs at Walmart and Target? It'll be interesting to find out, but I don't know if I'd be heartbroken if Origins stopped or not. I guess I would be. I'd really like some more characters, but sometimes all good things got to come to an end. You could save some money and move that towards something else, but we'll see. I'm all in on the Revelations line. I'm all in on the Origins as of right now, and we'll continue going that way. Speaking of He-Man, it's been a He-Man week. I finally picked this up. I've had a bunch of DVDs over the years, but I never had the complete series. This was on an Amazon deal. It went down and dropped in price. I said, you know what? I'm going to pull the trigger. And it's been so long since I've watched the He-Man original series. I watched Thundercats not too long ago with my daughter, I guess a couple years ago now. But I haven't watched He-Man. I don't know if she would sit through these, but we'll see. Maybe she will sit through He-Man. But I got the He-Man complete DVD collection. I always feel like that, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Transformers, I have them all on DVD. All the great cartoons of the 80s that I loved. That was the only one I was missing the complete series of. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pick it up. And I still have to watch all the Ninja Turtles. I got that Ninja Turtles DVD complete series. It's been so long, maybe original airings since I've went through all those. So I need to really watch all those. But once again, it goes back to the top of the show. Where am I going to ever find time to do that? Hopefully I do. We'll see. And I did finally pick this one up. I did get that Pixel Dan book a few weeks ago. I had the kind of the encyclopedia one, and I figured I should complete this book series as well. This is the guide to the animation series. I think it'd be really cool to read along with this as I watch the DVDs. I don't know what day that'll happen, but I did pick this up off of Amazon. Very heavy Dark Horse book, as you guys have seen before. These are very cool, so I picked that one up this week as well. What else we got? Are we down to the final two? We're down to the final two already. What do you know? But I did pick up, so you guys saw last week, the biggest purchase of my life. I got that He-Man complete set last week. Well, I had everything in there, but there was a few things I said I need to add to it. Now, I picked up this week Vicron. Vicron. Yes, Vicron. There he is. It's kind of a 3-in-1 pack, but I have one Vicron, and I have him as the tank in my collection right now, but I said, you know what? If I'm going to really have a complete collection, I need 3 of this character. So that's exactly what I did. I found this one cheaper than the loose ones, if you can imagine that. So I snapped this up right away. I'm going to use him in the Viking mode for this one. That's my plan. So now I have the tank, I have the Viking one, I need the astronaut, or whatever you want to call it there. And actually, I'll probably use this one as the astronaut because I got the Viking one loose here. So I ended up having to pay more for this one loose with all the accessories, of course, than I had to pay for this one. Can you believe that? That's just the way it goes sometimes. But now I got 3 of this character. So I got the tank one already displayed. Here's the Viking one. And now I'll have the astronaut. So I figured, you know what? I need 3 of these. That's just the way. To be really complete, you have to have 3. That's just the way my mind worked. And then I do have that Molar and Skeletor 2-pack. I really feel like that thing looks best displayed in box, but I really feel like I need that Molar and Skeletor unboxed as well to go with the rest of the collection. So I don't know. So I'm on the lookout for Molar and Skeletor 2-pack. I need to either find it minty, complete loose, or another one that I can unbox. We'll see. But then I'll feel like I'm really 100% complete, even though I am 100% complete. Just a crazy mind of a collector. You guys know how it is out there. So a lot going on the channel. There was a lot of pre-orders this week. There was a lot of purchases this week. And there was more news than you could shake a stick at this week. It was the biggest week ever. San Diego Comic-Con week. Wears me out. I need a nap after all this. But get your wallets ready. Have your wallets prepared. Get your funding in order so you can back Galactus. Back that new generation ring. Trust me, you'll regret it if you don't. You don't want to be that person having to pay $1,000. Just think of the Sentinels going to be shipping here in about a month. You don't want to be one of those people paying over $1,000 for a Sentinel when you could have got it for $400 a year ago. So just remember that. But we got some weeks. I'm sure we'll talk about it in continuing weekly purchases over the next few weeks. We'll discuss that and see where the backer counts is and more discussion about that. But hopefully you enjoyed all the videos this week. And if you did, go in and like every single one of them. Yeah, like everyone. What does it hurt? You watched them all. You might as well give it the old thumbs up. Help support the channel, of course. Share these videos. I don't really mention that. I always feel like I'm bothering you people. But if you want to, share the videos. Let's keep growing the channel. We're getting closer to that 9,000. We passed 8,000. We did that special Macho Man Top 10. Once we get to 9,000, we're going to do the Hulk Hogan Top 10. Once we get 10,000, the Ultimate Warrior Top 10. We're going to save some of those heavy hitters for milestone achievements out there. So be ready for that. This week we did the Big Show Top 5. That's a sleeper video. There's a lot of good Big Show figures out there. I love reading your guys' lists as well. But make sure you're liking this video. Make sure you're leaving me a comment. Let me know your weekly purchases. Let me know your San Diego Comic-Con thoughts. Let me know any of your figure thoughts in general this week with San Diego Comic-Con. Hopefully you all got a slaughter. I know that's probably not the case, but if you got a slaughter, let me know. If you missed out, let me know. But definitely leave me a comment on the video. Like I said, share, retweet, do whatever you got to do. Let's get these videos out there, especially some of the other ones. There's a lot of good videos on the channel, and I know I pump out a lot of videos. I'm just trying to check it all off and get through it all, and one day there'll be one video a week, and you'll probably say, hey, what happened? But nah, probably not. You know me. I love talking this stuff, to my own detriment sometimes. I love talking figures. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram. Of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, buy a t-shirt. That's probably your best way to support the channel. So there you go. And now, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into the weekend. Remember, weekly purchases next week, possibly delayed, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. But look for me on SmackDown. I'll be there. See if you can find old AJ Styles in the crowd. So there you go. Everybody have a good week, and I'll see you guys all real soon.